what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Endless TBR. My name is Christian, and this is my YouTube channel where I love to talk about books. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to click on this video, where I'm going to give a bookshelf tour finally. Before we do that, you might notice that things look a little different. I am in a new corner of my bedroom. I've decided to move out of the corner that I previously shot from because my bed took up like the side fourth of the frame, and I just never really liked how it looked. I didn't think it looked very professional to just have the block of my bed sitting there. So I'm currently working on turning this corner into my new shooting corner. It's not done yet. I have like this random space back here where there's nothing. And just the physics of moving my bookshelf over here is not quite fitting the vision that I had. So it might look a little different in the upcoming videos, but for now, I'm slowly working at converting this into my new video corner. So that's why things look a little bit different. But that's not what we're here to do today in this video. I am going to be doing a bookshelf tour. About a little over a month ago, I had a viewer request for me to make a bookshelf tour video, and I've decided to finally do it. I don't feel like my bookshelves are the best organized. They definitely are not the best organized, and I've been slowly trying to like move them around and organize them for like the better part of a month now. And I still don't feel like I'm ready, but I decided to just rip the band-aid off and make this video because I figure I can at least look back like a year from now or 2 years from now and see how how woefully disorganized I was. So just a friendly warning in advance: the bookshelf system that you're about to see is weird and kind of messy, and it doesn't even really make sense to me. So it's definitely not going to make sense to you, but I'm going to try my best to explain it as we go along. So yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it.
All right, here we go. I figured this would be the bookshelf that would make the most sense to start off on. So this is my Star Wars slash series bookshelf. Goes all the way down here. Definitely the most expensive bookshelf that I own. Starting up here, we have Star Wars: The High Republic, Phase 2, going into Phase 1, going into Phase 3, and then a bunch of random Star Wars books that I own. There was a Barnes & Noble that went out of sale or went out of business a couple years ago, and I picked a lot of these up for cheap. So that's why I have a bunch of random Star Wars books out of order. And then we have all the series that I own. So we have some of the Robert Langdon books there. We have Gregor the Overlander, the Hunger Games, City of Ember, a couple Inkworld books, my Narnia books. I have the individual volumes there, and then the collection. Then we have the ACOTAR books, my fiance's Twilight books, the Charlie Bone books, Gone with the Wind and the Gone with the Wind sequel, Christopher Paolini's Fractalverse books. Down here, we've got the classics. We've got Captain Underpants, Deltora Quest, the Divergent book series, a couple books by V.E. Schwab that I haven't read. These are my fiance's, but I'm pretty sure they're in a series, so they're on this shelf. Mistborn, a couple Unwind books by Neil Shusterman, the Scythe series by Neil Shusterman, and then my Lord of the Rings books. And I have this cool Goosebumps tin right down here. All right, and then moving over this way, we have my Dune bookshelf. This is actually the corner where I used to film my videos. That's why there's just like this big empty wall right here. But there used to be a bookshelf there until yesterday when I moved everything over to that new corner. So we just have this lone Dune bookshelf there. But I'll probably get a new bookshelf to fill this wall up with. Probably another bookshelf to put my Dune books on because this is only about half of the Dune books that I need to buy. And as you can see, this shelf is already pretty full. Got my Bengals helmet up top there. But you can see all of the Frank Herbert Dune books, minus Heretics of Dune, which I have elsewhere. And then we got Legends of Dune, a couple of the House of Dune books, and then the Schools of Dune books, and then Paul of Dune down at the bottom there. All right, now we're gonna go over here. This is where the chaos occurs. This is where I have a majority of my books is in this corner over here. As you can tell, I have quite a few, and they're kind of scattered all over the place. So let's start at the top up here. So this is my horror slash thriller section. So we have Tender as the Flesh, Felix Blackwell, Between Two Fires, Nat Cassidy, some thrillers up there, House of Leaves. We got Joe Hill books over in the corner. And then coming this way, we have all of my Stephen King books. As you can see, it's getting a little stacked up there. Probably going to have to get my own shelf soon of just Stephen King books. but that's what I own right now. Then we have John Langan, H.P. Lovecraft, and then moving over this way, we have some V.E. Schwab, Dan Simmons, Goosebumps, Frankenstein, Dracula, Catriona Award. We got a nice little Cthulhu up here, little crochet Cthulhu. Then coming over to this bookshelf, this is my like random. I didn't know where to put any of these books bookshelf, so they are in alphabetical order of last name by the author. But I don't have like a sci-fi or a fantasy shelf or a nonfiction shelf or anything like that. So I've kind of just lumped these together. But you can see here we got some Dan Brown, we got some Agatha Christie, Michael Connelly, Philip K. Dick, John Grisham, Colleen Hoover, The Will of the Many, which is going to go over onto the series shelf once I get the second one, Frida McFadden, Ian Reed, Louis Schaefer, Shelby Van Pelt, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Andy Weir, and H.G. Wells. So that is just random books. Then moving down a little bit more, we have my mangas. So I have all 72 Naruto mangas. So that's those right there, those two rows, and then those two back rows. And then I have all 12 of the Death Note mangas up front there, guarded by Ant Man and War Machine right there. Moving down, these two shelves could be in my series bookshelf, but I didn't really have room for them. We got the Harry Potter books, and then we got Christopher Paolini's Inheritance Cycle, plus two random single issues of The Walking Dead, and then that's an 8-issue War Machine comic series from Marvel. That's what those things at the end are. And then down here, these are all random books, most of which are my fiance's that once again I didn't really know where to put them. So there's just some random stuff here. You can see a little more Colleen Hoover, Paula Hawkins, Aaron Kelly, George R. R. Martin, Love in a Time of Cholera, which my fiance loves. Bunch of just random books. Down here we got Dante's Inferno, Shrek, Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and randomly Compendium 1 of The Walking Dead, which I don't know why I have that and those issues up there, but I do. So, yeah. So that's the shelf that's usually behind me when I'm filming. And then coming over this way, this is my like TBR shelf right here. All of this. So these up here are the books that I want to read in February, and then I usually put the next month's books on there as well, so you can see some books that I talked about in my February TBR video. You got the Da Vinci Code, Firestarter, Into the Drowning Deep, The Wild Robot, and then sneak peek to my March TBR, but these are some of the books that I want to try to get to in March. And then down here, these are books that aren't on my next month's TBR, but I'd like to read soon-ish, maybe within the next like 2 to 3 months. Got like World War Z, Red Rising, Shogun. I'm not going to get to all these in the next 2 or 3 months, but I can dream. We got a bunch of random stuff here. Three Body Problem, The Nightingale, Robert Jordan. I would say these are books I want to read within the next like 6 months. I'd say is more realistic. And then I have physical books that I've completed this month so far. So Dune, Heretics of Dune, and The Wild Robot. And then over here, I don't even know what to call this shelf. We just have random books, questions for couples, love stories. These are more of my fiance's stuff right over there. It's kind of all mixed together. So yeah, that is my main book corner. And then we have three shelves in the living room, but my fiance is currently working from home and she's working in the living room, so I'm probably just going to snap a photo of those and talk about them a little bit on the video. So, but this is my main book corner, and then I have this really cool Stephen King puzzle over here. I put in the background, built it just for the video backdrop. So that's what that is.
All right, and these are the photos of the three hanging bookshelves that we have in our dining room, like right above where we eat dinner. And Alex and I, Alex, my fiance, we have this joke where we wanted to put all of our classy books out in the living room so that we looked well educated and sophisticated when our guests came over. So this first bookshelf here has Dostoevsky on it, Jules Verne, John Steinbeck, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley, Clockwork Orange, The Odyssey, Phantom of the Opera, Beowulf, and King Arthur. And then the second bookshelf, I call this like
my nonfiction slash books written by famous people shelf. We got a book by BJ Novak. We got a Tom Hanks book, The Disaster Artist, some science books. We got a Bill Nye book on there. And then finally, the third shelf is I just call it more nonfiction and classy stuff. We have Sinclair Lewis, a mythology book by Edith Hamilton, Treasure Island, Washington Spies, which is a book I want to read soon, Catch 22, The Handmaid's Tale, and others. So, yeah, I'm sure the average person is looking at these shelves and they're just like, this doesn't make any sense. And I admit it doesn't, but this is what the three bookshelves we have in our living room look like.
So yeah, that is my bookshelf tour. Sorry again for the shoddy camera work if it was a little shaky. I have very shaky hands, which is why I use a tripod for these videos. So if you're getting nauseous watching that, I apologize. I'll try to get some kind of like thing in the future to stabilize those videos. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm definitely going to look back at this, like I said, in a year or two and kind of laugh at how disorganized my bookshelves are. Like I said, in a perfect world, I would love to just get a room where I can have a whole wall that is just one of those massive bookshelves and have like a perfect organization system of like genre and then organized by author, last name, and all that stuff. But as of right now, kind of working with limited space, so I just have random bookshelves all over the place. But I hope this was insightful into my bookshelf life, and I hope that someone got some entertainment out of this. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and stay tuned because in a few days I'll be doing a video of my February mid-month reading update where I'll talk about the books that I've been reading in February. But y'all have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and y'all have a beautiful one. Peace out.